This is going to be the bad video.
We have a series of bad videos that don't get posted, but they're on my laptop for future use.
Should you need to blackmail me?
Yeah, basically, that's why I'm keeping them.
Oh gosh.
To show at your wedding.
I'm not getting married. I don't
You're
think.
not getting married. Why do you think you're getting married?
Maybe I'll get married. I don't know.
You want to get married, right? So you're gonna get married.
That's an awkward question to ask me on the internet.
Not really.
Yes, I'd like to get married and have kids.
So what's the problem?
The problem is, well, you know those videos we did about dating and meeting people and all that shit?
Yes.
Well, I think the reason I have so much to say about it is because I'm so terrible at it. You know,
I'm terrible at it too.
I'm just, you know, like, here's the thing. Like, I went to this, I've been taking these improv classes, and I spoke about this before. And part of the reason I do it is to stretch myself, because you know, getting up there in front of a bunch of people and just acting like a complete idiot. Nothing is stretching your comfort zone is like the way to go if you want to improve as a human. And that's probably a video we should do. But I was in such a negative space the other night, and I kept, in my improv skits, I just kept ripping people apart. And it's like, this is, because part of the reason I go to the improv is to meet humans. Right. And I was just like alienating everybody in the class, even under the guise of like, this girl looks at me. We were doing this weird exercise where someone has to make an I statement and you have to make a we statement. And she looks at me and she says, I like tiramisu. And I looked at her and I said, we need to lose weight. And it's like, this is not how you make friends in the world. You don't say this to a woman who
and expect good results.
Was not overweight,
right.
And even if she were overweight, she would still have been gorgeous. And I was just like, no, that's not appropriate.
Right. So why were you doing that? What was going on?
I do not know.
Okay.
Maybe because I don't want to get married.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's something else. I don't know exactly what else it is. It could be as simple as it's just like it literally has been a really weird week for everybody. It's like something is going
Here's
on
another
right
thing.
now. It's making it weird.
Yeah,
so it could be that.
I'm going to talk about family systems.
Okay.
So, triangles. So you got a triangle, right?
Family systems or geometry?
That's so this is mom, dad, kid. So here's a triangle. Triangle, look, yay, triangle. So you have a triangle. You got oh look, it's in mirror writing. You got mom here, dad here, and the kid here. So mom and dad live in different homes, right? And mom and dad don't like each other. And when the kid goes back and forth, mom and dad are sending little messages. Tell your father that, you know, such and such and such, and then tell your mother that, you know, she's got an ugly pink dress. And then the kid is like this football that gets thrown back and forth to mitigate the negative feelings that the parents are harboring towards each other. So basically a triangle forms when two people are using a third party or entity or item to deal with their crap, basically, instead of dealing with it. So anyway, in families, you can have four members of a family, but anybody can be triangulated at any time. For like the mother and daughter can triangulate dad and all these kind of things, and dad and son can triangulate mom. And anyway, so when you become an adult, I don't know if I've become an adult yet.
I'm just waiting for you to wrap this around to why you were being a jerk in improv class.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay,
I'm rapping. I'm a rapper.
He's a rapper.
I'm a marriage and family therapist rapper. WRAPP.
Rap for us.
So I shall rap. And what happens is that when you are out there dating, your memories of being triangled are with you. They're with you at all times. Your scars, your wounds, or whatever, and the sense of fatigue and depression that one can feel when meeting another human can be present, because it's like your experience of family is not so positive, right? Essentially. And you can unconsciously push people away because you don't want to get wrapped up in that form of triangle again. And triangles are just one example of one sort of family system deal that's unpleasant.
So in a therapy setup, how do you deal with something like that?
Like what? You mean if I have a mom and a dad and a kid?
Well, if you have a triangle system, or you feel like you're creating things in your life that you don't want because you're operating from that standpoint.
Oh,
How do you deal with that?
well, you have to recognize the presence of a triangle, and then you have to take out the thing that's being triangulated and just deal with the person. That's
Okay.
the best way.
But what if this is an old system that's like maybe some of the people are dead or like it's not present anymore, but you're
Oh.
still reacting as if it is because the wound is still there?
You make a video on the internet.
Is that what we're doing right
now? I don't know. You talk about it. You know, like, it's funny. I think that one of the reasons that people don't date, I mean, you know how people, when you're out of a long-term relationship, people say, you're not ready, you're not ready. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not ready. Well, I think I knew I wasn't ready to date when I would go on a date and I would just get this overwhelming sense of fear and fatigue because I would look at my date and just think about my past relationship and go, oh my God, what am I doing? I think time is one way. Time does heal it. I think that making, I don't know, what do you think?
Well, there's some other, like, some of the most effective ways for me have been dealing with the energy of the problem rather than the actual problem. Like, naming it is always helpful because that gives you a framework to, to hang your thought process around. But you're not necessarily dealing with the fact that your mother told you to tell your father that he, was a terrible human being.
That is true.
And I mean, that's not really what it is. What you're dealing with is sort of the separation and the lack of love and just feeling like your parents didn't care about you as much as they cared about wounding the other person, which may or may not have been true, but that is probably how you're going to feel. It's just, there are a whole range of things you could be feeling in that sort of situation. And so you really want to be dealing with the feelings behind it and the energy of those feelings behind it.
Yes.
And there are a lot of ways to do that.
Well, Flannery O'Connor, who's a fantastic writer, she said that anyone who survives past the age of 12 has a wealth of stories. And what she's also saying is that childhood can be hell. And I think that adulthood, that when you're a kid, and I don't mean to make light of post-traumatic stress syndrome, but there's a certain amount of PTSD-like stuff that happens when you're a kid because everything's amplified.
Yes.
Like when a child is can't find their mom in the supermarket and they're just losing their mind. It's a horror story for them. It's like the world is ending and it's really, really, really difficult to deal with. So
you just don't have the frame of reference. You don't have
you've no clue
the life experience.
And I think just honestly just talking it through, because I think as adults I think we do hang on to that stuff.
Oh yeah, we do. That imprints itself on you. And I think often we don't know what has been imprinted on us, but it's there working underneath the surface, causing us to do things like tell a woman in improv class that she was fat when she was beautiful, and you might have wanted to marry her, but
no,
now
I didn't want to marry. I respected her, but I don't.
Well, that's nice.
She's cool. No, I like.
There was an example.
I shouldn't really name her on the internet.
No, probably not.
No, but she's a very, very cool person.
Yeah.
I apologize, random person, if you happen to be watching this, that you are not an overweight human. You are fantastic and smart, and I respect and honor you.
He's just got issues.
But I don't want to marry you.
What were we talking about?
Family systems.
Yes. Okay.
And why it's hard to get, why I don't want to, why we may unconsciously push people away.
Right. Well, I think we do tend to carry a lot of wounds from our childhood. And beyond that, our parents are carrying a lot of wounds from their childhood, which can then transfer themselves to us. Like we're all carrying a family history that doesn't have any, you can feel things that don't seem to have anything to do with your actual life. And that's when shit gets real weird because maybe you feel really depressed or really angry and you don't know why. And it's entirely possible that you're carrying that for someone else or that's been sort of handed down to you. And, in many ways, it doesn't really matter where it comes from because, emotions are always valid. Feelings are always valid no matter, how illogical or strange they might seem. You just have to kind of look at how to deal with what's under them. And, there are a lot of kind of more alternative ways to do that. And I've used a lot of them. And that's what's helped me the most, honestly, more than therapy, because I can talk my way in and out of anything, but you can't really fool people energetically.
Ooh, I can't top that. High five.
Five.
Very good. Let's end there.